If you ask a car enthusiast from Indonesia what's the national car, usually you'll get a response like Seymour, SMK, or Toyota Kijang. But what if I tell you that there's another brand, the Saat dynasty, tried to succeed but failed? Not so controversial as Timor, but not too hidden as SMK. Hello, I'm Callum Ingrid, and this is the Bimantara story. Hyundai has been partnering up with Ford from the 60s. This happened because Hyundai at the time had a cooperation agreement with Ford in developing Hyundai cars, which were previously just Ford Cortinas, with a rebadge as a Hyundai Cortina, and Mitsubishi followed suit in the 80s, developing the Hyundai Pony facelift using a reskin from the Mitsubishi Mirage, with some help from former employees of British Leyland in the past. One of these people are Joe Turnbull, and it makes sense that the relation between those companies make it possible for the Elantra to be born from recycled Western and Eastern parts. The Hyundai Elantra is a reskin of a Mitsubishi Lancer, and it was designed to replace and fill the market niche below the Hyundai Stellar, which was built on a Ford Cortina chassis and a Giorgiato Giugiaro design body, combined with a Mitsubishi 1600 dual overhead cam inline-4 engine codenamed G4CR, similar to the Ford G61 that the Mitsubishi Lancer GTI used. The Elantra is powered by Mitsubishi 0.6-liter dual overhead cam 16-valve unit, produce 113 horsepower at 6,000 rpm, and is capable of propelling the Elantra to 97 km per hour in 9.5 seconds. Also, the Hyundai Elantra was only offered as a four-door saloon, or an American would call it a sedan. The Elantra was updated in 1992 for the European market, replacing the updated Hyundai logo on the grille, although North American model retained the previous year looks. In April 1993, the vehicle received a facelift, including a revised front and rear fascias, including more organic headlights and taillight. The profile of the car was good. The body was aerodynamic and nice to look at. The face looks moderate and very oval-like headlights. Braking is carried on the front using ventilated discs, while the rear brakes are drum brakes. The Elantra interior is quite spacious, with a good seating position, and the seats are comfortable enough for long trips. The dashboard and the door trims are simple for a compact saloon, but the rear passenger legroom is very generous. Also, a radio as standard, power steering, tilt steering, air conditioning with rotary knob adjustment, rear window heating element, tachometer, 60/40 split rear seat, and velvet fabric upholstery. As an option, buyers can add several accessories to the newly purchased Hyundai Elantra in the form of power windows, audio with CD changer, central door locks, electric antenna, electric mirrors, rear seat belt, high-mount stop lamp, mudguards, and metallic colors. Hyundai entered the Indonesian market in 1995 by DT Citra Mobil Nasional, or Citra National Car Ltd. At that time, Hyundai launched one model, the first-gen Elantra, with only one true model, the 1.6 GLS. The car was late to the party in Indonesia for a good cause, recycling old model to be made fresh again, since the Indonesian market was hard to crack on, so manufacturers usually sell old model served as new, while the global market moved on, such as case for the 1993 Mazda MR90 reused from the European 1979 Mazda 323. Because Indonesia during that time only allowed complete knockdown cars and completely banned imported complete built-up cars from abroad, while simultaneously trying to improve their industry, that meant manufacturers have to build their own factory or assembly plant in Indonesia, making it hard to crack the market for all car brands who wanted to sell their cars. Hyundai also then immediately built a factory in Bekasi, West Java. Their first product assembled and sold by Hyundai was the first-gen Hyundai Elantra with the body code J1. Although already produced in Indonesia under the Hyundai name, due to rumors of plans for a national car, Presidential Decree No. 42 of 1996 stipulated three requirements for becoming a national car: 20% domestic component usage for the first year, 40% for the second year, and 60% for the third year. The car must be manufactured domestically, and the car must use a local Indonesian brand. Hyundai, owned by PT Citra Mobil Nasional or Bimantara, eventually changed its name to Bimantara, the same company that owned the first commercialized television company in Indonesia. Not only has the brand changed, but the product name has also changed from Elantra to Nenggala. Nenggala itself appears to be derived from the Sanskrit word Langgala, meaning plow. The name Nenggala is also used for the heirloom weapon of King Baladewa in the Warrior story, where the weapon is depicted as a round with two pointed wooden sides capable of melting mountains and splitting oceans. While Bimantara already fulfilled its criteria to becoming a national car, Suharto was more in favor of his younger son, which is Hutomo Mandala Putra. Timor is owned by Hutomo and the company that Suharto was in more favor of, but Timor didn't have any factory nor dealership to begin with. Although Bimantara didn't get special regulation like Timor, Bimantara, with the help of Hyundai, already have dealership, assembly plants, car model at its initial launch. The Hyundai Elantra was priced at 59.9 million rupiah, but in 1996, the Bimantara Nenggala's price dropped to 49.6 million rupiah. Even Timor presence posed a problem for Bimantara because it could still be cheaper. It's also questionable why Timor was chosen, as at the time Timor had virtually no product or dealership, unlike Bimantara, which already had complete knockdown kit and was already selling cars, while Timor imported their cars from South Korea. Manufacturers noticed that Timor were allowed to import cars via complete build-up, while others are forced to complete knockdown kit. To counterattack Timor, Bimantara also launched a new model in 1996 to compete with Timor model lineup called the Bimantara Citra, a rebadge of a Hyundai Accent, a subcompact saloon made by Hyundai to replace the Hyundai Excel in South Korea, which was still based on the Mitsubishi Mirage Last Lancer in 1994. This model was supposed to be the middle-class people who wanted a car with a lower price that isn't an MPV nor a van. The Citra cost 39.5 million rupiah. It was incredibly cheap and affordable compared to Japanese and European car prices at the time. The Hyundai Accent is powered by the Hyundai Alpha engine, codenamed G4EK. This 1500cc single overhead cam 12-valve engine is fuel-injected. With this configuration, the engine is capable of producing 92 horsepower at 5500 RPM and 132 Nm of torque at 4000 RPM. A distinct feature of Bimantara Citra, beside the Bimantara and Citra emblem, is the use of orange turn signal. Furthermore, the bumper lacks fog lamps. The car features are quite complete for its class. Power windows, electric mirrors, power door locks, and power steering are all available. The power window button for non-taxi is located in the front center of the handbrake lever, while for ex-taxi vehicle it is located usually on the door trim, but it is possible that there are also some power window buttons that are same as those non-taxi for passenger comfort. The Hyundai Accent is arguably the most comfortable in its class compared like Suzuki S-Team and Daihatsu Charade Classic. This is probably due to the use of independent McPherson strut and dual-link independent rear suspension and spiral spring and anti-roll bars for its leg. For driver comfort, the front steering can be adjusted for height because it has built steering. The Hyundai Accent advantage are its comfort and comprehensive features, while some might call it a taxi since it was cheap and it used a Mitsubishi engine that was plentiful in Indonesia and cheap spare parts market. It's important to note that it's been field tested for durability and fuel economy. The Citra fuel consumption is 1/14 in city without air conditioning. Due to its strong taxi image, spare parts are relatively inexpensive and widely available in major Indonesian cities. Furthermore, due to its negative perception of taxis, the price is also relatively affordable, ranging from 30 to 40 million rupiah. And in 1997, Bimantara launched a new model called the Area, a rebadged Hyundai Grace P1. Unlike Timor, which is imported as a complete built-up unit, Bimantara vans, also both sourced from South Korea, are assembled in Indonesia. The factory is located in Bekasi, which is formerly the Datsun assembly plant for PT Indokaya Nissan. The Bimantara Area, also known as the Hyundai Grace, the Bimantara Area is essentially a third-gen Mitsubishi Delica minibus that wasn't officially sold in Indonesia to begin with. It first appeared at the Apex Summit in Bogor in 1994 as a storage vehicle imported as a complete build-up. In 1996, Hyundai, which had already established a factory in Indonesia, changed the name to Bimantara, and in 1997 it began selling the Bimantara Aria. In terms of features, the Hyundai Grace and Bimantara Aria are not significantly different. This van is equipped with front fog lamp, a single sliding door, a hatchback-style rear doors, rear view mirrors, a rear defogger, a rear wiper, heated air conditioning with double blowers, and front seat that can accommodate 3 people, with the middle seat folding down. Our windows are only available at the front, while all rear windows are sliding, unlike other minibuses in Indonesia that still use leather chassis like the 3rd gen Toyota Kijang and 2nd gen Mitsubishi called L300. The Bimantara Aria and Hyundai Grace use a monocoque chassis with a double wishbone front suspension and a McPherson strut rear suspension. Braking still use front and rear drums. Although assembled in Indonesia, both the Hyundai Grace and Bimantara Aria are quite rare, and with the already crowded MPV market of Indonesia, the Hyundai Grace and Bimantara Aria compete with the Mazda E2000. Even though they do exist, few are in good condition and well maintained. As rare minibuses, spare parts from their bodywork and interior are equally scarce. However, engine is completely different story, as it often replaced by the Mitsubishi 4D56 engine used in the Mitsubishi called L300 and the Mitsubishi Cuda. The Hyundai D4BB is the Mitsubishi 4D56 engine popularly used in the Mitsubishi called L300 in Indonesia. However, Hyundai made several modifications, such as increasing the stroke length to produce a 2700cc engine capacity. This engine has an 8-cylinder single overhead cam with indirect injection diesel configuration. This engine has a cast iron cylinder block with an aluminum cylinder head to transmit power to the rear wheels, and a 5-speed manual transmission is used. While the 1997 Hyundai Sonata GLS Saloon wasn't part of the Bimantara deal, it was sold alongside its sister. Not much was known about it. The only report we have, it was used during the APEC Summit and the 1997 SEA Games. Some report that the cars were firstly received by the inner circle of Suharto, probably a bit too luxurious for the People's Car Project. Although not officially a national car, the public considered Bimantara cars to be the one. This was understandable, as the Bimantara Group chairman was Bambang Triatmojo, the second son of President Suharto. With the collapse of the New Order and the 1998 Asian financial crisis, and also violating several rules, Japan did not remain silent. It reported Indonesia to the World Trade Organization, the WTO, because its national car program violated the General Agreement on Tariff and Trade, the GATT. The World Trade Organization dispute settlement body ruled that Indonesian national car program violated the principle of free trade on April 22nd of 1998. Most of Bimantara dealerships were destroyed by protesters, and Bimantara, alongside Timor Car, were targeted for arson because it's still connected to the Suharto regime. Bimantara reverted back to Hyundai, but unfortunately the Elantra series discontinued in 1998. But the action lasted all the way until 2006, mostly for taxi use. After the reformation and the fall of the New Order in 1998, the Bimantara chakra was reverted back to Hyundai accent, with the entry of Hyundai sole agent for the brand holder into Indonesia. Between 1998 and 2001, there are minor differences aside from the emblem to indicate that the car is no longer affiliated with the Bimantara brand. This Hyundai version has clear turn signal and fog lamps. Although Hyundai sole agent for the brand holder had by then moved to PT Hyundai Motor Indonesia, Bimantara retained a stake in the company until around 2021, when it was transferred to PT Hyundai Motors.